my goodness. And there it is. Wow, get the pin to go.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the pregame show of the PWBA Albany Open. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV, and we're just moments away from kicking off the Stepladder finals on BowlTV.com from Kingpin's Alley Family Fun Center in South Glens Falls, New York. But before we get to the lanes, get to the warm-up session, we're going to bring in our Dynamite broadcast team who are going to be bringing you the action, two of the best in the business. Let's first kick things off with Dave Lamont joining us once again on Bowl TV. Dave, hello.
Hello there, and really happy to be here. And what a nice foursome we have for this day. We've got a little mixture of youth and plenty of experience. And at the top is a woman who, and it's hard to believe I'm saying this, hasn't won a title since 2017 in Kelly Culich. Surprising, yes. But then you've got Shannon O'Keefe, who's dominated this tour since it returned to 2015. And then Stephanie Johnson, a major champion. And then for the youth part of it, you've got Brianna Clemmer, who has come out of McKendree. Oh, wait a minute. Who coaches McKendree? Hey, now, we could have a sort of a wax-on, wax-off Karate Kid-style match between Shannon O'Keefe and Brianna Clemmer in this, assuming that Brianna can get by Stephanie. So this is a fascinating foursome. I mean, this is really going to be something tonight.
Absolutely, Dave. And your partner joining in the action today, the Hall of Famer, Carolyn Dorn-Ballard, CDB. Let's bring her into the show. There she is. Hello, CDB. Welcome back to Bowl TV.
Everybody. Good. I'm busy tweeting. I'm sorry. Sharing on Instagram, getting us going there. How is everybody?
Doing great.
Carolyn, I'm really so pleased. And just think of who didn't make the show. Danielle McEwen's 2 pins out. That was it.
Yes. Yes.
Missing from the 4th position. You had Liz Johnson making the final 12. Clara Guerrero. You had some of the real established stars and also some tremendous youngsters in here as well. When you heard 36-foot pattern, were there a couple of players that you thought really were going to be in this Final Four that had a great chance?
Well, I always feel like, you're going to have your front runners, but with that length of a pattern, I think you see the best of both worlds, which is what you see here in the finals. And what I mean by that is everyone is extremely talented. Please don't get me wrong, but you're going to see a higher rev rate with Brianna Clemmer. You're going to see a little bit of a higher rev rate with Shannon O'Keefe. Now, Stephanie is a little straighter, and so is Kelly because she has slower ball speed. So again, there's that mixture of 4 different styles. You'll be seeing them play somewhat the same part of the lane, just approaching it a little differently. And that's really what I thought of when I saw this final. Also, you mentioned a couple of other bowlers. Danielle likes to go straighter, doesn't really like to open up the lane. She can, but she likes to go straighter. Liz Johnson playing further right, using her ball speed to her advantage. Yet then you have Valerie Bercier, who can move a little bit left, a little bit of a slower ball speed, higher rev, is a little bit left, but getting to the same point. And Clara Guerrero, same thing. Although she likes to go straight, ball speed bumps her a little bit left. So the ladies approach the pattern the same way, meaning break point wise, but you see a mixture on this pattern of a lot of different styles.
Yeah, Kelly was the leader almost from the second she showed up, and she averaged about 240. She had a 300 game to close out her action on Friday. She was supposed to be with us, but she can only take so much of the two of us, Carolyn, I think, before she realizes she's got to get motivated on the lanes.
Right.
Put the headset away for another time. But she's been so close to winning. She's bowled really well this year, and we both know that she is a fitness fanatic. She's very careful about what she eats. I feel like she's maybe having a career resurgence as she gets a touch more experience, shall we say.
I just keep going back to the same thing. I talked to her over the last couple of days. I do think, and this is meant in a great way, no one liked COVID, please don't get me wrong, but I do think Kelly used that time off and just being home, she took that time to be herself. She wasn't in front of anyone. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She wasn't trying to meet any of her goals. It was all about just Kelly having time to herself to reevaluate what she has done, where she wants to go, and what is her future looking like. And I think her coming out as strong as she has this year is proof that she still has that will and that desire. And again, you mentioned it, is in fabulous shape. And I think she used everything to her advantage. And now you're seeing the rewards.
This looks like they should be wearing Team USA jerseys here. I mean,
It's true.
The experience that they all have. We have, I just saw, oh yeah, my God, there's another, and Shannon, these are stalwarts in international competition for the United States as well. So I can't imagine there will be any nerves or any additional, or what do you think, Carolyn? Since you're this close to the title, a little bit of nerves today, even with this experience?
First off, I think there are always nerves. I've asked many champions over the years, are you nervous? Are you still nervous? I mean, you won 30 times. I mean, really? I think every great champion, there wasn't one of them who said, I'm never nervous. Because you know why? You're in one mode during your practice shots, and then the lights do come on and it's for the real thing. So, something has to change just a little bit. But it's the people that get over that hump. They know how to control that change from practice to throwing that first ball. So I think there are some nerves, yes. But I don't think anyone on this show this evening is a stranger to TV, in obviously not only with the collegiate level, but with the professional level as well.
That's right. And of course, I mentioned, Carolyn, before you came in, the relationship between Shannon and Brianna from McKendree, where Shannon coached her there. So it'd be interesting to see if it does come down to that. Now, of course, a tremendous player, and Stephanie Johnson stands in the way of that. And I don't even know if there's anybody close to an underdog here. There's not going to be a surprise if anyone wins here. Knocking Kelly up in the number one spot is going to be difficult because she has dominated, much like the 2010, 2011 Kelly that we remember. She's flashing back to some of that form. And the only thing missing, as I mentioned, is a win here. For Stephanie Johnson, it's so funny to call her the 2015 Rookie of the Year, given her experience, but that's, when the new league was launched, the new association, she became the rookie that year. Looking for her fourth title on this pattern, Carolyn, how does she break down?
I think Stephanie is going to try to be further right. Again, Stephanie is one of those bowlers that will use her ball speed to her advantage. She likes to stay on top of the pattern for as long as she can before chasing it left. But again, one of her best assets, she bowls fearless and she uses her ball speed to her advantage. She knows how to manipulate her game so that, and how do I say this? She doesn't get out of her norm, but she can get out of her norm because she is confident. So she tries to keep it as simple as possible and what she likes to do. But when she sees that changing, she is not afraid to make the adjustments that she needs. And Stephanie, of course, don't forget, change of ball company, taken her a little bit just to get used to the new equipment. But yet again, as the true professional, here you go, a few weeks later on the show.
Yeah, well, you're right. Absolutely true professional. And Shannon O'Keefe, you used the word confidence about Stephanie. I don't think anybody's ever spent more than 10 seconds with Shannon O'Keefe, doesn't walk away saying, my God, that's a confident person right there. And I think that's one of the reasons that she has been so dominant since 2015 here. Major championships, she checked that off. Winning week to week, she's checked that off. Player of the year, she's checked that off. She's become arguably the force right now in the women's game.
I think one of the things that really helps Shannon is what she does off the lanes, not only physically, as in working out and being so structured on making sure that her body is in the best shape so that she can perform. But her coaching off the lanes with McKendry, I believe, has truly helped her as a bowler perform to the best of her ability. And she made a comment not too long ago about the fact of she felt like she wasn't as prepared. And what she meant by that was throwing as many shots and getting as many games on the lanes before she went to an event. And Brian said something very, very smart to her. You coach all the time. You're watching ball motion. You're watching the physical game. You know what? When you're off the lanes and away from everybody coaching, just think about those things you see and incorporate it into your game. And it is true. Sometimes you do not have to throw the ball 3 days in a row. That 1 or 2 days of just watching and mental training really gets you in gear for what you need to do. And just, she is the all-around athlete. And it's going to be very interesting to see if she bowls Brianna.
Yeah, and Stephanie would have something to say about that, and there's no doubt about it. As the ladies begin to wrap their warm-up shots, and the first match will be Clemmer versus Johnson. The number 2 seed is O'Keefe, and then Culich sits at the top, the number 1 seed, and she pulled away from everybody else there to earn that opportunity. So Kelly has made a few shows. She is looking now to finally crack that winner's circle for the first time in a while, and she's going to have to wait it out. And again, knowing her intelligence, she'll be probably spending some time warming up. But also, I guarantee you, she's going to take a peek to see how these lanes are working. As there you see what our players are playing for today. And by the way, how sweet is it to see somebody sitting behind that trophy, spectators? This is just tremendous to see all throughout bowling now that people are coming out and getting a chance to support these athletes.
Very cool stuff. And folks, we are ready to get this championship match started. So we're going to hand it back to Dave and CDB in just a moment. If you're watching on Facebook, head on over to BowlTV.com, subscribe to watch the finals of the PWBA Albany Open. We'll be right back with the championship match, kicking things off. First match, Clemmer versus Johnson, coming up next here on Bowl TV.
So Stephanie Johnson, who had the lane choice as the number 3 seed and chose to start on the left lane and with a strike in this opening match against Brianna Clemmer, who is a tour rookie this year. But she finished 4th last week at the BVL Open. Jordan Richard beat her. And I remember watching that, and Jordan bowled exceptionally well. It wasn't anything wrong with what Clemmer did, and that was much more Jordan Richard than Brianna. So another crack at the apple again for Clemmer. And flush on that right-hand lane. 36-foot pattern. It is the shortest on tour this season.
And you can see both ladies playing the same part of the lane. We discussed that in the pregame show. Again, I do think Brianna Clemmer throws it a little bit harder, but again, we're going to see very little transition. Lanes are always transitioning. So let me clarify that. But you may say very little transition because the ladies will be playing the same part of the lane. So they'll be able to make those parallel moves, but they won't need to be big moves.
It's got a swing. Man, that was a powerful strike that time for Brianna. Took that close to the channel, but snapped back beautifully into the pocket.
Looking at that shot, it seems they're playing a little bit further left, or I say Brianna is, because we haven't seen Stephanie bowl yet. Just a little bit bumping it just a little left on that left lane. So I'm trying to get some information if the left lane hooks just a little bit more.
Ooh, that one got through the face just a little bit, broke up some trouble, leaving her with a 3-6.
I try not to make a big judgment on the first shot when you're off the bench. You know, when you're sitting there, one of the things you have to keep in mind is you want to get up and make the best shot you can, but you have to remember to keep your ball speed up. Don't forget, you're sitting. Now they practiced. Stephanie threw the first shot, and then Brianna, obviously, threw 2 shots. So you have to remember to keep your pace, keep your ball speed up. So I'm waiting to see which lane we think might be hooking just a little bit more.
All right, routine spare for Stephanie. We are at the Kingpin Alley Family Fun Center, by the way, just outside of Albany in South Glens Falls. Northeastern part of the tour. Stephanie averaged over 230 in 24 games of qualifying. That's perfect.
Great comeback shot by Stephanie. Again, they have that bump just a little bit left on the left lane, which I am told hooks just a little bit earlier.
Okay, we'll watch for that and see how they adjust. Now, in watching Brianna, Carolyn, I wanted to get your opinion on her setup, which is certainly unique. And she got cheated there with a wraparound 10. That left arm that she puts out what do you think that is for her? How does that help her?
Well, we asked her that with the last show she was on, and she said that at college she had a problem with a lot of movement with her left arm and, shoulder motion. So Brian and her came up with this idea to put her left arm at the start and keep it there the whole way through to steady her shoulder. And she said it stuck with her. It felt comfortable. She incorporated it into her game, and that's it. That's why she continues to do it.
Yeah, notice it didn't do it on the spare, but she will do it right before she
on the first shot.
On the first shot only, as she guns for a strike here as she moves over to the left lane. In this first match, the winner will play Shannon O'Keefe, and we could have a McKendry matchup here between coach and grad now, alum of McKendry, which has been for many years one of the top collegiate bowling destinations. Man, just knocking them all over the place on that left lane.
And like I mentioned earlier in the show, the ladies, these two especially right now starting, are playing the lanes very similar. So again, the transition as it changes, moves, or I was going to say even ball changes, will be to what they did during the week. And what we saw during the week was some ladies balled up, some ladies balled down, depending on their ball speed. So it's nice to see how the lanes, will hold up to what the ladies are trying to do.
And I don't know if that messenger's going to get it done. It doesn't. Made a little tap, but not nearly significant enough to take out that 10 pin. Although, as we looked up and saw a fresh set of pins there on that right-hand lane, but as we see on the replay, the rack took it out, so it's being hand set here to make sure that she gets a chance at the spare.
And one thing we talk about each week, especially with Stephanie, she's excellent with it. Point A to point B. I say that a lot. From point A to point B, these ladies are rock solid. You can see the leverage, no muscle in the swing at all. I mean, very little, if anything, even if they have a higher rev rate. So again, a lot of conditioning, a lot of repeating of the same shots over and over again. That's why you see these ladies on TV.
All Team USA members, all experienced. I mentioned Brianna. Well, she might be a rookie this year, but she's a 2-time U.S. amateur champion the last 2 years, as a matter of fact. And really fought her way through to get to this number 4 position, whereas Stephanie led at the end of the first round and was never in danger of not being on our Bold TV cameras.
It was only a matter of time with Stephanie. Again, she made the company change, learning some new equipment, but she works hard at her game. Her game is very simple. So it was just a matter of time where she put everything together.
Oh, saw that messenger slide violently right in front of that 10-pin. Watch this again.
Great shot. They're going about 12 out to 7 on this left lane. Comes in just a little light, and that 10-pin is just not getting any love, is it?
No, not for her anyway. That the head pin just shot right in front of that. All it would have taken there was just a little bit of a better break, and she buries that 10-pin into the wall where it belongs. So Brianna Clemmer, Stephanie Johnson in our first match. Kelly Culich is the top seed, and the number 2 seed is Shannon O'Keefe. And you see Clemmer with trying to go for her second double of the match. And there's that trademark move of hers. And nope, a little kiss on the 7, but not enough to take it down. So this match remains close through 5. Full expectations that she'll make this 7-pin.
Now, even though she has used this style for quite some time, when we're talking about the ease of that swing, every now and then I can see where she gets just a little bit later, where that backswing looks a little bit higher and it's a little bit more forced coming down instead of just dropping down. And I think that's what right there gets a little quick. And if you look, the backswing, there's a little right there. It's a little bit higher, continues to go up, and doesn't just drop naturally. I think that makes her just a little bit later and can cause misses like that, but also increase her ball speed just a little bit, which is going to give her a little different look on the lane.
Now, the first big mistake after it, I remember saying, well, I certainly expect her to make the 7-pin, and you saw that it was a bad shot for her, so she's got to bounce back immediately. And does. But single pin spare misses so often can dictate who ends up winning a match.
Correct. I mean, we always talk about it. We think that 10 frames is a long time, and it's really not. It goes by pretty quickly. And when you're on TV, more than likely you need to take into consideration that you're on TV for a reason. Mm-hmm. You've been pretty rock solid all week, right? So you have to make sure that every frame is your best frame.
Ooh, look how now that's the second time, Carolyn, on that lane she's had a similar lead. That before she kicked out the 9-10. Now they're sitting there for her.
Right, and I can't really see. The look of the TV. I'm far away actually from the lane. That did not look too far off of where she was playing the lane. Maybe a little bit left, but I really did think it looked like she came around that one just a little bit. And I know she's not trying to get around it. She's trying to roll it off her hand, not dead end over end. But again, a little bit of that shorter pattern, not super short, but you want to control the back end.
Well, she did lose the 9-pin, so it's a 3-6-10. And he certainly didn't want to give back an open frame after the mistake made by Clemmer missing the 7-pin. So Stephanie trying to win PWBA Tour title number 4. Her last victory was her major in 2018, the PWBA Players Championship. This is the first time she has made a show this year. She's been close. And as Carolyn mentioned earlier, it's just a matter of time before somebody this talented would get through. Yes, flush on 29.
4-step delivery with Stephanie. I'd love to see that one more time because she's rock solid going into the foul line, uses every bit of her leverage to use her ball speed to her advantage, but she uses her legs. She does not use her upper body.
Man, powerhouse strike on 30 for Klemmer. That might be the biggest hit so far we've had tonight. And she has doubled off of that mistake of missing the 7-pin.
Another great shot. She's able to keep everything, in line. And that's what we're saying, when they're trying to play this far right and not create a lot of area, you have to make sure your lines stay pretty close to where your swing is going.
That's got to come back. Now, there's a very odd leave right there. You don't see a 7-8 too often.
No, that's just a bad break on a light hit. Gets it just a little right. As you can see, that gets out to about the 2 board. Almost gets the break, though, the light mixer. But leaves a tough one here, the 7-8.
Pretty much only one way to shoot this, right?
Well, I'm not going to say that because I've seen a lot of things in bowling, but I would use my spare ball, which she is doing.
And she's going to chop one out. Yep, unfortunately, that's her second open in this opening match. And now Stephanie Johnson in a position to begin to build a lead. But Stephanie has yet to double, and she's on the right lane, which she has not struck on yet.
Right. The right lane's the one that's been giving her a little bit of trouble. She's gone high twice, light once, where she left that almost like I don't want to say it was a flat 10, but like almost a blower 10 where the pin came in front of it. So the adjustment here, I would go back to where I would left the flat 10 and maybe just get the ball to read up a little sooner.
And that went through the nose again. And again, she leaves wood on the right side.
Yeah, she missed way left on this shot right here, hitting about 12, getting it out to about 8. I think she made the move, to be honest with you. Try to get away from that because she went, like I said, you're leaving the blower 10 and going high. You usually feel like you're caught in between. You're either going to stay where you're flat 10ing and, get it to read up a little sooner, or you're going to make the move left of it. And that's really what they did is the lanes transitioned where they made those minor moves to the left.
Ooh, a little body English to help that tricky 3-6 that time. But she stayed clean. She just can't run and hide, though. She has not been able to string enough strikes to really take this match by the arm yet. But we come to the foundation now. And if she does get a strike here, she can shut Klemmer out in the 10th, but she needs an X on that score sheet right here. Oh, that took a nasty turn left, and she's got a baby split.
I was going to ask if you could hear the ball hit the lane. Seems like she lofted this one out onto the lane just a little bit more, missed a little left. She did not get it her good shots were the shots where it would hit around 8 down lane by the tracers, and that one was way left of the tracer. She's using a ball too that's going to hook a little bit more on the back, so with the high road. So again, it could be one of those where the lanes are transitioning, and as that happened, the moves were to the left. You didn't open your angles up a lot, but you definitely had to get that ball to the right in the front part of the lane.
Big moment in the match here. Can she handle this? Well, that's beautifully done, considering the situation. A nerveless shot that time by Stephanie Johnson. Klemmer, however, has the better max score opportunity, 213 to 204. So despite missing a single pin, despite having a 7-8 that she only took one pin out, Brianna Klemmer can win this match.
Yeah, this is a pretty big shot to set herself up for the 10th.
Now, look at that, taking full advantage on the right-hand lane where she has had some success. I mean, she struck in the 7th. She did have a mistake in the 5th, but that was missing a single pin. And this is the lane that Stephanie Johnson has not had any success on.
Correct. And she's moved, even Brianna has moved a little bit left on this right lane, doing more of that 12 to 8 where they were a little straighter to start. So again, we're seeing that transition and the ladies are following each other.
A double would shut her out. Double in the 10th and 2 to make it official. But I have high hopes and all confidence that she'll make that.
Again, this is one of those shots, getting it out to 7-8, playing both lanes very close right now, even though I've heard from all the ball reps that they're saying the left lane hooks up just a little sooner, but the right lane looks as if it's caught up because they have definitely made the move on both lanes.
Well, that's a big one right there. All she's going to do is basically show up, and Brianna Klemmer has indeed set up the match with her former coach, Shannon O'Keefe.
Again, 12 out to 7-8. Honestly, those last two shots she just threw looked identical from back here.
Best looking shot she's had. She had one beautiful strike on 30 as well. So it was interesting. The person who made the most big mistakes ended up getting the win, while Stephanie Johnson cleaned through 9, but only 3 strikes. So Brianna Klemmer picks up the win, and she will move on to the next round. So she's on a bit of a roll right now, pardon the expression, after making 2 shows in a row. And this time she gets out of that first match, and she's got a great rep there in Chuck Gardner to help her out. So for Stephanie, title number 4 will have to come another time. But her first TV show of this 2021 season, and you've got to believe there's going to be more. By the way, for those of you who are with us on Bold TV today, we do have a Roto-Grip giveaway, and we'll get that to you in just a moment. Aaron Smith is handling all of the generosity on our show today. So coming up, we have Shannon O'Keefe looking for a 15th PWBA title since the tour returned in 2015 against someone she used to give a lot of advice to at McHenry. Brianna Klemmer. Should be fascinating, probably a little emotional, and of course, tremendous bowling. Now, I can't imagine Stephanie's anything less than very disappointed. However, when that cools down a little bit, takeaway that she made a show, and as Carolyn mentioned, switching equipment for the 2021 season, and she still didn't get a strike on that right lane. It's unbelievable. So Stephanie will finish 4th. And I don't doubt that when we turn the cameras on again a few more times this season that she'll be left out. I don't think she will be. She will be back.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Too good not to be. So we have a little time in between while Shannon and Brianna get some shots in. So Aaron Smith, and look at Kelly sneaking in too to get in a couple of shots. You have Stephanie right now. If Stephanie is available right now, we'll do that first before we go to Aaron's giveaway, if that's okay.
Dave, that is okay. We'll be bringing everybody on the screen here in just a second to chat with Stephanie.
Here,
All right, let's do that first. There you are. Hey, Steph, how are you?
I'm okay.
The right lane. Would you like to take an axe to that when the night is over?
It was a combination of I didn't really see the picture, and then of course it's hard to execute when you're just not comfortable. So it was a combination of a little thing of those two things, but overall, Brianna bowled a great game. So hats off to her.
I want to know, okay, so Steph, you're a hard worker off the lanes. You are prepared physically as well as mentally when you get ready to go out on tour. It's been a little bit of a slower season. I contribute that. No, I contribute that too. And I knew it would take you every week. You could just see you getting higher and higher and higher, and the game's getting better and better and better as the 2 days went on. What do you contribute this week successfully?
I heard bits and pieces of your question, Carolyn, but what I attest to this week, as far as getting to this point, was probably just being able to use my ball speed to my advantage. I do, of course, like to play the lane straighter, and I was able to do that for the most part. And they just get a little trickier on the TV pair, so to speak. And I kind of just ran into a little bit of trouble.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you this too, because I asked a couple of the ladies over the last few weeks. Do you feel your ball speed is one of your greatest assets to your game?
I would probably say my ball speed is both a blessing and a curse.
Okay.
To your point earlier of having maybe a little bit of a slower start, I feel like the first few weeks I needed to have slower ball speed, which that's always been a challenge for me to slow my ball speed down. So specifically this week, I didn't really have to do that. So I think that's a big key to my success so far.
Okay, excellent. Well, I think you're throwing it great. I am sure we will see you in the championship match again. And I look forward to seeing you in Louisville.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Stephanie. Congratulations on the week, and certainly look forward to seeing her again on television. Stephanie Johnson joining us here. Aaron, are you prepared here to take the reins for a little giveaway?
I am, Dave. Thank you.
Do it.
All right, folks. Giveaway time here on Bowl TV. We are going to give away a Roto-Grip bowling ball of the winner's choice. So Carolyn can give some suggestions after we get it underway. But a Roto-Grip bowling ball of choice up for grabs for one lucky Bowl TV viewer. You're going to see a prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen that says a giveaway will begin shortly. It's going to count down for 60 seconds. And then another prompt in the same area will say the giveaway has begun, and there will be a submit entry button. All you have to do is click that submit entry button, and you'll have the opportunity to win. If you are watching in full screen mode, we do suggest you take it out of full screen just for this next minute or two so you can see the chat area and see the button to click it, submit entry. All you got to do for a chance to win a Roto-Grip bowling ball of your choice. So good luck, everybody. Back to you, Dave and CDB.
All right, thank you very much. That ought to be a lot of fun and a great gift for yourself if you're able to win. You see Shannon O'Keefe there warming up on the right of the number 2 seed. And she has been the dominant force since the PWBA returned in 2015. 14 championships already, 3-time major champion. She's already picked up a title this year. That was the Bowlers Journal Classic when she beat Danielle McEwen. And of course, this will be her first appearance since then on the cameras. And she was probably the closest person, ended up being the closest person, but for the days that they were qualifying, the closest to Kelly Culich's rearview mirror. But frankly, nobody was that close to Kelly in the lead up to this. As Kelly packs up, and she'll be back, the number 1 seed. So it'll be Brianna Clemmer and Shannon O'Keefe. And Brianna, the alum of McHenry, Shannon, the coach of McHenry, she and her husband, Brian, who are running the program there, have done an incredible job. That's not a surprise. Brian, easily one of the top coaches in the country, is now the new head coach of Team USA, replacing Rod Rust. A wise decision. And it looks like Shannon O'Keefe wasting no time to begin this match on the left lane. Well, I had bedpost there for a second and took care of that. Nope, that was a warm-up. My apologies. And actually, Brianna Clemmer will be starting. Shannon is the higher seed, so she has the choice.
Party crew over here on the left, make sure you stay nice and still as the ladies are on the approaches.
Just a little instruction to the spectators, but you know what? The fact that they're giving the spectators instruction, as Shannon, Carolyn is throwing the Web Tour Hybrid. So Brianna Clemmer got away with a couple of mistakes, but just threw more strikes than Stephanie Johnson, and that ultimately led her to the victory. And we'll see how she does against her coach. It was a 213-192 win for Brianna. And the winner of that, of course, will take on Kelly Culich for the trophy and the check. No problem at all. What's going to be interesting to me, Carolyn, is the interaction here. I don't think we're going to get any between these two until the match is over.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
And people are going to like that. I probably say that. And that's okay, because I've always, there's always been a 50-50 on this. I mean, you're bowling someone and you want to win. So it's okay not to be best buddies and all while you're bowling. Respectful is one thing, but you don't have to be best buddies and all of that, because you're both trying to win the championship. Afterwards, your friendship will survive. You will be best buddies and everything will be okay. So you see here, Shannon with her ball speed is actually playing the lane similar to Stephanie Johnson, who gets the same reaction on that right lane, Dave.
Yeah, a little bit of a blower 10 right there. Also, the Messengers are not getting the job done right here. And we also see that Shannon's got that left leg with some little KT-style tape there.
Well, she does work out a lot, and there's a lot of bowling going on. I'm sure her quad or knee might be just a little sore, or she could be doing it for preventative measures. I know many times Clara Guerrero, when her knee was bothering her, even though she would tape it, but as it got better, she actually taped it for maintenance, especially on the longer formats. Now Shannon is using a medium symmetrical ball. So it's actually blending out the lane for her, and she has the right lane hooking north.
Well, the right lane is what hurt Stephanie Johnson. She was never able to strike on it. So that lane seems to be a little bit more difficult. And that time put a shoulder into that one, and a strike for O'Keefe.
Right here, very athletic. Ladies are playing these lanes very similar, using their ball speed to their advantage. Once again, we talked about it. And as Stephanie says, I believe Shannon O'Keefe probably runs into that problem just a little bit too. She has great ball speed, but when they have to tone it down just a little, they probably use surface more than toning it down with the speed itself.
Now that one you saw just sort of dive bomb through the face. And again, another unusual leave of a 6-9-10.
That shot just didn't get as far right.
As we go back and look at a leave that she had earlier, she had a 7-8, so she's had a 6-9-10. And I don't know, looking at that replay, Carolyn, I think air knocked down the 3-pin. I don't know. I don't think the ball ever touched it. I'm serious. I think the 3-pin just fell and got, by air. And that's very well done, because I think any bowler knows how tricky that shot can be if you don't do it just right. again, the right lane. I'm beginning to think that the right lane is the star of the show here today. Sort of the fifth member of this foursome of bowlers. Because her action on the left lane is just gorgeous.
I think everyone likes the left lane. It is the right lane. Look at this. Great leverage. I use that word a lot with the ladies because it's unbelievable how athletic a lot of these women are. And again, anybody who's watching. So if you want to have good leverage, you must use your leg, right? Ball drops from the top on its own. Use the legs for leverage.
And there we go. Finally a strike on the right-hand lane.
I don't know if it's my angle or not, but it looks like they're playing more direct on this right lane and getting it out to about the 5 board. Almost the flat 10, but keeps it out at the last minute.
Tremendous concentration there. I take a good look at the intensity that Shannon O'Keefe is giving off right now. And there we finally get a messenger. So a double for Shannon O'Keefe, make it 3 in a row. And she takes the lead.
Another great shot by Shannon, getting this ball out. Looks to 3-4. And sending the messenger over into the 10. It also looks like Shannon's lofting the ball out onto the lane just a little bit, which is going to help your ball conserve a little bit of energy on the back end.
Figure that out. This
That did not look like a good shot off of Brianna's hand. As soon as she let it go, it looks like she got on the side of it just a little bit and definitely missed left.
Kelly Culich awaits the winner. And oh no. So an open frame. You have to feel, Karen, like whoever figures the right lane out is going to win. It seems obvious.
I definitely think the right lane is the lane that will be the deciding factor. At first, they had the left lane hooking a little bit earlier, and now it's actually flip-flopped. Both bowlers are finding out that right lane hooks earlier, but yet when you miss left, it hooks. When you miss right, it's not finishing. So as I'm being told by a couple of the ball reps, they're kind of trapped. And that's why I mentioned that about Stephanie. It's either move right, use your ball speed and stay on top of it, or you're going to have to move left. And where they're at right now, it's still reading very strong off the pattern. You're going to have to make a bigger move.
So Shannon did strike her last appearance on this lane, and she's got 3 in a row. Oh, no. Come on now.
Fantastic.
Sorry, Randy.
Fantastic shot on this right lane.
Wow.
Right here, you'll see what great direction. Again, getting the ball out to about 4 and just misses hitting the 18.
So the strike streak stops for O'Keefe. One thing she knows how mentally tough Brianna is. Mentally, she's already shown that. Well, every time Brianna Clemmer has left an open frame, she's come back to strikes. So that's how she battled back from 2 open frames to beat Stephanie Johnson. So they obviously teach the mental game in McKendree as much as the physical game.
Well, I would think so. You have Team US, you have the junior, at the time, junior Team USA coach. You have Shannon O'Keefe, who's on Team USA. So I would think there's a lot of mental training going on.
And just a light tap on that 10.
That ball got just a little bit further. Look at this, out to the 2 board. It comes in just a little flat, leaving just the 10. But see, this is where this pattern gets just a little tricky. So, and Dave, you know what? I'm going to ask you again. Did you say 39 feet?
36.
36 feet.
Yeah, shortest pattern on tour this year.
Correct. So it's a short pattern. You're going to play right. As you move left, though, on shorter patterns, what happens? Well, if you open your angles, like she just did and got it further right, it doesn't quite get there. And like Brianna's last shot on the right lane, if you miss left, there's no hold. So again, lanes are now transitioning after a game and a half, right? We're in the second game. We're already midway through. You're seeing a lot more transition. And again, to me, shorter pattern. You're supposed to stay as far right as possible.
Look at that flush on the right lane. And Brianna Clemmer, again, she did it in the first game. She left an open frame, and she comes right back with 2 strong shots.
Out to about 5. Fantastic shot. I'm saying on this pattern, you should not be getting left of 13, 14 and using that break point. The best shots have been getting out to about 3, 4, 5.
Now, this lane she hasn't missed on in this game until now. So that stops her at a double.
Right there, doesn't get right of 7, 6, 7, and she's been getting it just a little bit further right to that 4, 5. Goes just a little high.
Yeah, that could have been a disaster for her as you saw all of the options that were available for splits, and she broke them all up.
One of the other options you will see, the ladies want to stay further right. Instead of changing balls, just taking their hand out of it. You're going to see people are not going to be trying to hook the lane. They're going to be a little bit more end over end, rolling through it, let it roll off their palm just a little more so they can control the back end, especially on a shorter pattern.
There's been nobody who's been more successful on the PWBA tour since it returned in 2015 than that woman right there, looking for a 15th PWBA title. Oof. Looked like a good shot. We had the angle.
Great shot. I mean, everyone, look at that. All the best shots have been getting out to about 3, 4, 5. Now it's all about how do you tweak your hand or getting the ball to roll up a little sooner to kick that 10 out. On a short pattern, you don't want to make big moves. You just want to make those subtle moves, whether it's moving your eyes back or forward, or even moving just a little bit left and changing the angle just a little bit.
So O'Keefe, no trouble with the 10 pin. And we're set up for a big finish here. And a quick nod to, that might be Brian she's nodding with, at my guess, her husband. In the, there he is. Looks like a McKendree hoodie there he's got rocking. Got a Pikeville shirt behind now. Huh? Great college bowling being represented right there. How about that? Gotta go. It did. Well, whatever Brian said, it paid off. And she nodded like, okay, thanks.
Well, as they were standing there, I saw, the ball rep kind of put his hands down just a little bit, like, just not slow it down, but just he amps it up just a little bit. Again, ball speed is one of her advantages. So I think she was throwing it just a little hard. That last shot seemed a little bit smoother, and she got it to the right part of the lane.
Well, looks like Clemmer has figured out the right lane. She's now struck on it 2 times in a row. Her max at 227.
And you can see how smooth that ball's coming off the end of the pattern. Anybody watching, you're learning a lot here on how to play a shorter pattern. You want the nice, smooth ball motion, not anything that hooks so much on the back. Oh, gosh.
My Lord. That is hideous.
Great shot here. Put some pressure on. Oh,
The ball
so nice.
just flew right by that 9-pin. Wow, what an awful break. She obviously has to shrug it off immediately, have that short-term memory. But O'Keefe is now in command of this match. She just can't have anything disastrous happen to her. Yeah, that Brianna's got the right attitude about that. I would be throwing things at this point if that were me, but
No, you wouldn't. You're on live stream. You would not be doing that.
but think of the clicks. I mean, come
No,
on.
I would be. You wouldn't be.
So Shannon just has to avoid a pitfall here, and she'll move on to face Kelly Culich. Well, that's one way to avoid trouble. A little preventative medicine. Stay out of trouble by wiping the deck clean.
Right. And again, those are great. Those replays are good shots for everybody to see how the ball is reading the pattern. A lot of times, shorter patterns seem to be harder for people to play. But right here, you're seeing what the ladies are doing. They're using balls that actually read the middle part of the lane, smoother transition off the pattern, so they don't have to open up their angles. And I think it's very important to know that, number one, and increasing their ball speed when necessary.
I got a ball change right here, Carolyn. She only needs 7, and she's going to do all of the above to move on into the next round. So it is the teacher over the student in this case anyway. But you know what? They'll do it again on the cameras, these two. I'm certain of that. And that was a Strata Hybrid. Thank you, Emil, for that information. Emil Williams is our eyes and ears in upstate New York, and we can't thank him enough. And Curtis Von Kruger as well is helping out. And back at HQ, Aaron Smith, who I believe has another giveaway. Okay. Lock it up. A dream matchup in the final with Shannon O'Keefe and Kelly Culich. So right now it looks like Carolyn, Shannon's just throwing everything she brought with her these last couple of frames to try to find the right one for the championship match.
Right. And as you can see, one ball was a little bit cleaner, the Hammer Rodman Pearl, but the first ball she threw, the Strata, again, smoother motion. So now she has a couple of options.
Well, Brianna Clemmer, 2 shows in a row, and 4th last week, 3rd this week. And for the 3rd time since the PWBA returned, we're going to have an O'Keefe-Culich title match. Right now, Shannon has a 2-0 advantage, but it's the first time they have met for a title since 2017. And that was an O'Keefe Major Championship victory. So a great run for Brianna Clemmer comes to an end, but she has to feel good about herself after 2 straight shows. And a bump up on the ladder for her, getting a win on Bowl TV.
Mhm.
Again, Jordan Richard last week bowled beautifully. I had a chance, well, even though I was working, I was watching, and I did see Jordan bowl great. So it wasn't anything Brianna did that was all that bad. So congratulations to her, and hopefully we'll maybe get a quick word with her before we throw it over to Aaron.
Center. All right, Shannon O'Keefe, if you'd like to stay loose, you can go down to 37-38. But Kelly Culich, she's going to have a chance to do 3 balls.
Well, this ought to be awesome. You had Shannon O'Keefe, who averaged a little over 238 in 24 games. Kelly averaged over 240 in 24 games. And although Stephanie Johnson took the lead at the end of the first round of qualifying, Kelly finished it off and with a 300 emphatically on Friday, and she ran away from the field in qualifying ever since. So this is really going to be something. But I understand Brianna is either in range or may even have the headset on right now. And so we will look forward to a quick word with her before Aaron has a Brunswick giveaway for everybody.
All right, I think we're all set for Brianna to join us on here, so we'll bring her on to Bowl TV.
All right, wonderful. Brianna, congratulations. 2 shows in a row and an even better finish than last week. What's been working for you the last couple of weeks?
Well, like I said, I've been working on my speed, but this week I didn't really have to throw it slow. So that's kind of, I was able to take advantage of being able to throw harder like I have been the past couple of weeks. And, just focusing on each shot and taking my time and just being who I am and living in that. And I think that's something that I have taken with me for the past couple of months, is just to be who I am and let the rest play out.
I actually have 2 questions for you, and I know I have to make them quick. But first of all, great bowling, and I'm sorry, I do think I called you Brianna once. So I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
You talked about your ball speed, which talks to Stephanie and Shannon. I mean, they use it as an asset. I think ball is an extreme asset. What is something that you do and that you're currently working on to push that ball speed when you need to?
Using my legs. That's something that I've been working on the past couple weeks, is just using my legs and making sure that I'm stable at the line, because when I'm not stable at the line, I pop up out of my shot, which causes me to be very steep. My backswing is very steep if I don't do that. So that's something that I've been working on as well, is just using my legs more than I feel like I have in the past couple months.
It looks fantastic. And it's funny that you said that, because we talked about your backswing, and every time it goes up and just drops, when you get there, it was rock solid. When it got just a little bit, like you said, just a little too steep, you're right. It was that little flat 10 or something like that. So for feeling that, number one, because that's not an easy thing to feel. So you're going in the right direction. My second question to you quickly is, you bowled your collegiate coach.
Yeah.
So I have to know now, he talked to you as a college coach for 4 years. Now talking to you as a PWBA player. Did she give you any words of wisdom before you started? And how did you feel mentally?
Well, last week, I'm going to start with last week, because she texted me last week, and she's always giving me words of encouragement, especially before I bowl or stuff like that. And I mean, I just had to think, I'm bowling the lanes. And that's something that I've been trying to think of and do as well, as I'm bowling the lanes. I'm not bowling, well, I am bowling in person, but like mentally I have to think, that's what I'm bowling. So, I mean, I was a little nervous, but I took that nerves and used it as positivity and good energy to just try and do my best in the match. And, I had a few shots where I was really pulling and steep, my backswing was, and, that resulted in, bad shot making. And I have to take responsibility for that, and I am. But, I mean, I'm proud of how I finished this week.
Well, no, you did fantastic. You did great.
Third. Yeah, I guess second and first. So in 2 weeks, you'll be winning.
Yeah, hopefully.
We're going to work on that stepladder for you. Congratulations on another great week, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Great bowling.
Thank you.
All right, Aaron Smith, before we have this heavyweight championship fight here between these two tremendous talents, you've got a giveaway here.
That's right, Dave. We have a Brunswick knockout to give away.
How appropriate.
To one, that worked out well. To one lucky Bold TV viewer. It's going to work the same way. Wait for the prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If you do see the, or you're going to wait for the submit entry button to pop up. Once it's time, click on it. You'll be entered for a chance to win. If you're in full screen, we do suggest take it out. And as a heads up, we're going to have a second bowling ball giveaway, a Storm bowling ball of your choice in the 5th frame of this match. So be on the lookout for that. So stay in the chat, talk with the Bowl TV community, but we're going to get this started right now. So good luck, everybody. Hit that submit entry button. One lucky person taking home a Brunswick knockout here, and then a Storm bowling ball of your choice in the 5th frame of the title match. Good luck, everybody. Back to you, Dave and CDB.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Shannon O'Keefe is going to start this match, and Carolyn, the way she finished it, once she knew she had locked everything down, she began to experiment with bowling balls. I'm really interested to see what she chooses to start this match with.
I agree with you because she shot 247. Great game. She made some excellent shots there towards the end after leaving a few of those flat 10s. Made the adjustments she needed to. So it's going to be interesting to see. You know, you have 10 frames. Are you going to go with the ball that you ended with the game and it was a great look? Or are you going to change because mentally you see a different picture? Also, I want to give kudos off to Brianna before we even start this match. Her comment about bowling the pins and not her coach. That's how far advanced these collegiate bowlers are when they're coming out on tour. They are mentally tough and knowing that they are bowling the pins and the score. They are not bowling the opponent.
So Shannon O'Keefe will start as the number 2 seed, and she will start on the left.
And Dave, I have to tell you,
and she will start by having to shoot a 310.
Right, Dave, I was wondering how this was going to pan out because I would predict if Kelly had to choose a lane to finish on, it would be the left lane. And I actually made a note of that because everyone who's really had to make a shot has thrown it better on the left lane. So she will make Shannon finish on the right. And of course, this first shot goes just a little high.
So here's Kelly as a Strata hybrid, by the way, for Shannon, and an IQ Tour here for Kelly Culich to start things off.
IQ Tour, one of Kelly Kulich's favorite bowling balls. She has, if I had to guess, probably a 2000 surface on it. Again, not a lot of shine. If it has any, it's lane shine, just so that ball is naturally going to read the middle part of the lane, but again, wants to make it predictable on the back end.
And no trouble as that 7-pin just gets knocked for a loop.
Great come out shot by Kelly. That 12 to 7-8. Again, her philosophy, I need to throw more strikes than Shannon, which is kind of funny because Kelly doesn't think and having to be, she's a perfectionist, but it's more about filling frames and just making sure you come out ahead. But going to try to get around 10, 11, 12 at the arrows and get it out to the friction. And again, that surface is going to control the back end.
And no, not going to make it there with that messenger. Kelly, this is her 3rd show of this 2021 season. She has not won yet. And her last victory on tour, you have to go back to the PWBA Fountain Valley Open in 2017. So she's looking for title number 7. But this is, she's got 5 majors on the women's tour, 3 U.S. Opens and a pair of queens. So it's interesting. Her she has a very top-heavy resume when it comes to winning championships. Yeah, no trouble at all for Culich on that.
No, and Kelly is a true shot maker, great spare shooter. So on that shot, ball just got a little bit right down lane to that 3-4. And remember, we even saw that with Shannon. We saw that with Brianna, and we saw that with Stephanie when they got it just a little bit long past the pattern that left that flat 10. We have a ball change for Shannon to the Strata, the one that she threw the second shot in the 10th.
She was able to conquer the right lane, and she's done it again. And if you're just joining us, you're here just in time for this fabulous final between O'Keefe and Culich. But the right lane has sort of been the co-star of our show today. But that time, O'Keefe buried it. And every once in a while you see, and they do have the best seats in the house, and they should, our proprietors here at South Glens Falls, New York, at the Kingpins Alley Family Fun Center. And Doug and Allison Bohannon. I can't thank them enough for everything they've done. Takes a lot to put on one of these events. Flush, flush, flush. Powerful strike for O'Keefe. And I think your point, Carolyn, about Kelly having to outstrike Shannon may well be she's not going to have a choice.
Well, we've always talked about, do you like to be tournament leader or do you like to have a game on the lanes? And, that flips back and forth. There's the fantastic proprietors right there. Big supporters of bowling. And again, once you get a feel of the lanes and you know which lane is hooking more or not, it really is a little bit of an advantage. So as tournament leader, you need to come out prepared and ready, for battle.
Well, that one was, she tried to do the old Billy Whaley, hit him thin and watch him spin, but it didn't quite work out that way, and she has a 7-pin still on the deck.
And I wish we had our little, we're going to have to work on that, getting the graph where we can write on the lane.
There you go.
We're going to do that for what is that, StreamYard? How do we do that?
Well, I don't know. We'll have Aaron and Emil, all these guys who have legitimate technical talent. Perhaps they can come up with the CDB straighter.
I love it. CDB straighter. Yeah. I like it.
By the way,
wait, I was just going to say, Dave, that shot, Carolyn, Yes.
No, go ahead. Finish, please.
Oh, I was going to say, she got that ball again. When you saw the replay of that ball just got past the end of the pattern out to 3-4 and just didn't quite make it up. Now in Stephanie's match, it was coming off the pattern just a little bit quicker, right? Lanes were a little bit more fresh. So now again, we're seeing another bit of transition, and this is where a shorter pattern tends to get, and I hate to say, I don't want to say easier or hard, but really becomes just slightly, it's a little bit more thinking than you would have thought in the beginning, really is what it comes down to.
On the left lane, Culich, powerful strike there on 29. So she tries to keep Shannon O'Keefe in her range. Now, what I was going to say is in all the years I've been in television, Carolyn, there isn't a single fussier piece of equipment than a telestrator.
Right.
That
is true.
It's unbelievable. They're I don't know why, but they're fragile. The telestrators are.
They're very touchy when you're trying to really write on them.
But you cannot say these competitors are fragile in any way. And O'Keefe looking for another strike. Yeah, she knew it too. She liked it off the hand.
This ball rolls up just a little bit sooner. Doesn't get it as far right down lane. But remember, she changed the balls to a ball that actually, I believe, picked up just a little sooner and stopped in the right spot, gets the trip 4. And honestly, on a short pattern, that's what you're looking for. Where do I kick out that 10 and where do I get that trip 4? Where is that spot that you need to continue to feed it to? That's what you're looking for.
Yep. She knew that one was a little high. She got a break and only has to worry about the 4-pin.
I love the lines these ladies have. I mean, really, if you look at it, the repeating off their hand is so good. I mean, I think we're waiting for a ball return.
We are waiting for the ball return.
Okay.
And just to remind everybody, this is the championship match of the PWBA Albany Open in South Glens Falls, New York, in the upstate New York area. And there's Kelly Culich, who is the #1 seed through 24 games of qualifying, averaged over 240. And her opponent is 14-time PWBA champion Shannon O'Keefe. And looks like Shannon has what she needs and no trouble on that conversion.
I mention this each week, so nobody's up on the lane, so I don't feel like I'm jinxing anyone. I think, I mean, there are so many ladies that are fantastic bowlers out on tour, but boy, they are great spare shooters.
No, I don't think she's going to get the tap she needs. No, I just didn't have enough energy.
It was close. She was running it out.
So Kelly, and you talked about it, Carolyn, and I've referenced it once, but it's worth referencing again. And the idea of just outstriking Shannon at the moment, she's not quite able to do that.
Well, until you figure out how to strike, you need to have your frames clean. Obviously, that means pick up what you're leaving and then process what's going on.
That's not a problem for a multiple major champion in Kelly Culich. Got to feel like, and not just Kelly, but Missy Parkin's doing the same thing too, Carolyn. That Missy's making shows. She did well this week too, just didn't make the show. You got to feel that Missy and Kelly are both going to break through this year and get back in the winner's circle. It just seems inevitable.
Absolutely. And you know, and I'm going to say this too. We mention it, you know, because we have to, and we're talking about it, but it gets old to listen to, and it isn't meant against the ladies at all, but it's just that old saying, keep knocking on the door and you know the door is going to open.
Yeah, she takes care of the 10 pin there with a little help from the 6 to get back in the strike column. It isn't always how the 10 pin goes, but as long as it goes.
Still just a little bit slow at the back, but she gets the break and knocks out the 10. Here she is talking to Steve Jacobs and Matt McNeil, all reps for Storm Products. As we have Brian and them in the back for Brunswick.
Oh, wow. What a shot. Because for a blink of an eye, a 4-9 stood there, and then you blink again, and they're gone.
I said the same thing. I go, wow. I closed my eyes like, wow. Looked like it might be another trip 4 or a high 4-9. And again, you know, when you get the off hits like that, you know you're in the right part of the lane doing the right thing. And again, that's a simple move. Move your feet, keep your ball speed up. You're doing the right thing. Getting the breaks. And sometimes that's what it's all about. You know, I've been asked that question before. You know, what does it take to win? Sometimes it takes breaks. Throwing it good and taking breaks.
Yeah. 20-pin lead for O'Keefe. And there's a bad one.
As you can see, Shannon is feeding her ball to the dry just a little bit earlier than Kelly. Trips the 4-9 on the right lane. Right here. See how the ball feeds to the right just a little earlier and makes the break to the pocket, leaving the stone 9. Actually, that was a high flush 9.
Yeah, that wasn't the classic. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't the classic ball goes flying by stone 8 or 9. Yeah, you're right. All right, no trouble at all for O'Keefe there. And now, can Kelly Culich string some strikes? That's been lacking. Really, Shannon's the only one who's done it today. Yes, sir. Mixed them up that time.
Wow, that was off her hand. I thought that was a much better shot. She looked like she got the ball a little bit further right off her hand. I'd like to see this replay. Right here, floats down to the right just a little bit earlier than it has been, but still just a little slow off the spot, but gets the mixer.
And incredibly, if they both go off the sheet, we'll have a tie at 249.
I wouldn't mind seeing a tie, as long as it's not me. I like ties.
Okay. 3 in a row for Culich. Now we're getting the match that we were hoping we would get with these two Titans.
Right. And you can see, even though Kelly looks like she stopped a little bit sooner, maybe she looked at the approach too. But again, look at the leverage. And her swing just goes down, up, drop. I mean, it's poetry in motion. And with Shannon, and I've seen her say this on Facebook, everybody looks at her and goes, oh, you only have 3-step timing. She takes 4 steps. Not really. She moves the ball maybe not as fast on the first step, but she walks right by it on that second step, which makes it just picture perfect.
Wow, another 9-pin. Again, this one not a stone 9.
Nope, but almost left the 4-9, which tells you, again, remember we talked about the ball, getting the ball to the dry just a little sooner. That was the key on this pattern, was getting the ball to read off the dry. So right here, she looks like she made the move, but just not enough.
So we come in now to the critical finish. And what is in Kelly's head? She's been here many times before, both of them. And Shannon O'Keefe in the 9th. Again, she'll be finishing on that right lane. And her second strike of the match on the left lane. She finally, she hadn't struck on that lane since the 3rd frame, but she couldn't come at a better time for that one.
Right. After Kelly throws this shot on the right lane, depending on what she does, of course, I think this is right here. Shannon didn't think this was the best shot. And you could see that when she was walking back, way down lane, comes in just light, but blows the rack, of course, blows the pins off to the left. I think it was smart of Kelly to make Shannon finish on that right lane.
Well, it's a big shot here for Culich, riding 3 straight and on that right lane.
She likes it. She's walking.
Well, she should. 4 in a row for Culich. She can still roll that 249.
Great shot. Look at that. Picture perfect. Gets the ball, feeds it to the right, which is what she said she needed to do tonight. And the ball rolled right off the pattern where it was supposed to. Don't forget now, we're into the 4th match, right?
Mm-hmm.
So lanes again going through transition. The double here.
And she's a winner again. Got to go. Yee! Nope, nope. Boy, for a second, that looked like it was going to go. Oh, boy. All right. Clean your plate is the first thing.
Yep. Right here it comes in just a little light. Went a little further down lane, but look at that. I mean, unbelievable. I bet you it's halfway off the lane and halfway on.
So Keefe can steal this in the 10th with a double, assuming that Kelly, I've got to believe she's going to make this, and then strikes.
She forces Shannon to double.
Yep. So this is a big shot here for Kelly. A strike is going to make it a little bit more difficult for O'Keefe.
I can't see the scoreboard, so you have to tell me what it is.
Oh, you and I are seeing the same thing right now, but I'm getting some outstanding intel on this.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes. So this is a big. Now Kelly's got to shake that off. Now again, this is
correct.
This is a seasoned pro, as we would say. So she should, flip the switch on this and take that relief pitcher mentality. A 9 count. Shannon could go strike 9 spare, and we'll get the roll off, Carolyn, that you want.
Right.
But one thing at a time. That's the ball. Yeah,
right.
All the way. Even I knew that was going to be a strike.
Right here definitely gets this ball right a little bit earlier than the first shot, because you can see how it comes right off the pattern. That was crucial. In speaking with all the ball reps from all the companies, they said that was one of the keys this week, is getting the ball to the friction at the right time.
Double to win, and there's nothing Kelly can do. She's done. She painted her picture. Got to have it. No.
So it's just a little high. She missed left on that shot, didn't get it right the way she had been.
Well, it's the right lane again.
Right lane was the tricky lane, but you can see right here, doesn't get it right of 8, 9. She's been getting it out to 3, 4, 5.
Well, for the first time since 2017, Kelly Culich is a winner on the PWBA tour. And I can only imagine the gratification if you finally see her face as she begins to rip off the tape and take the mask off. And looking at your winner right there, she was the #1 seed. I don't blame her for being emotional.
As she should be. It's been a while. And she's had some big games. She's had some big games thrown at her, and she's bowled some scout bowlers and champions in her title matches.
Well, this crowd appreciated that. It's hard to find a better match. I'm sure, they're out there, but I don't know how many more you could do and ask for more of 2 brilliant bowlers than these two. And Kelly Culich is a champion again. Her 7th PWBA Tour title, her first since 2017, her 3rd show, and she is a champion again. Yeah, I think Kelly's going to do a Hale Irwin move here and high-five everybody in the crowd and then grab the trophy. You know where it is, Kel. And to think, Carolyn, she could have worked with us. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness. I'll be crying when I talk to her. I'm going to have to get my tissues ready.
Well, you better send some to Kelly because she may need them too.
Awesome week. Not only for us here at Kingpins and for the ladies from the PWBA Tour, but for all of our local bowlers. We couldn't be happier, and we thank you all so much for being here. And one final thing, I just want to thank all of our staff and our volunteers for everything they did. I can tell you, they moved a lot of furniture. They did a lot of cleaning to get everything ready. Without them, this would not have happened. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And Kelly, you made a great run last night. It was so fun to watch, and today you just kept it going. We're so happy for you. Congratulations. And again, on behalf of our staff and everybody here, all of our bowlers and our fans, congratulations on your win.
Yeah, take the mic.
Exactly.
I finally got the monkey off my back. And I just want to say thank you to the fans for enduring a year that, unlike any other, you being here this weekend really just brought the energy and vibe into the lanes, into this event that we needed. Your staff was simply amazing, from all the women running for water and food and snacks and the pin chasers in the back. I'd like to thank Neil Milligan and the staff of the PWBA, Emil, and all the volunteers, Curtis as well. I'd love to really thank Storm, my major sponsor as well, and Vice, and Hand Bowling at Logo Infusions, World Bowler X. But most importantly, this would not be possible without the support of USBC and PPAA. Those two organizations allowing us to be here and celebrating women's bowling, and you witnessing women's bowling to be able to celebrate it with us. And all the women, I can't speak for all of them, but they were all excited to be able to come back and bowl. And we miss Pro-Ams, we miss being able to bowl with you on the lanes, but we are so appreciative of your support and your enthusiasm and supporting women's bowling and watching on Bowl TV. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you very much. Thank you.
Your champion of the PWBA Albany Open, Kelly Culich, winning from the number 1 position and beating the brilliant Shannon O'Keefe.
Fans that are out there, but again, on behalf of the PWBA entire staff and crew, thank you so very much for being here. And as I end every event, be safe, be good.
Hopefully we will get a chance to talk to both of our bowlers. Shannon and Kelly, and just get their thoughts on the championship and on the final match. It was really cool, by the way, to have people there. I'm glad Kelly mentioned that, because it does bring a vibe back that we got used to it. And then, it went away, and it wasn't anything we could do about it, of course. And it was just fun to have the competitors on the lanes, but that little bit of extra juice there, I'm really glad that Kelly, I'm sure Shannon would have done it too. She's a very gracious person, that she would have mentioned the thrill of having people back. And so that's going to be something for all the competitors to look forward to.
Absolutely. I agree. I think it gives, like you said, it's the vibe of it. It feels like, and here, I'm going to go back. When you're bowling and there's no sound, it's an odd feeling. And I think a lot of times as competitors, no matter what sport you're in, you feed off the audience. If you're not bowling well, right? You're kind of like, okay, calm it down. People are watching. If you're bowling well, you kind of get into it. The crowd gets you going. So the crowd plays a very important part as an athlete as to how you perform to a certain extent. And I thought you could see that tonight in the championship round.
Aaron, do you have something to give away, or should we go and try to talk to Kelly first?
We have taken care of all of our giveaways, so congratulations to Amanda, Jessica, and Peter for their wins. But I'm pretty excited about this. Let's bring in Kelly Culich, the champion here at the Albany Open. There she is. Congratulations, Kelly.
Thank you.
Well. So you shined us, huh?
I don't care if I never work with you again, Kelly. I don't care.
I wanted to be in front of the camera this week, definitely not behind it, but I know you guys do a great job announcing and everything, so I knew it was in good hands.
Well, you did a fairly good job yourself, and you said it. You got the monkey off your back, and we're not going to get into the length of all that because it doesn't matter anymore. But can you just speak a little bit to the satisfaction of being in that winner's position again?
Yeah, I came out here for two reasons: to have fun and enjoy bowling again, and to win and know that I could win again. I specifically trained the talent that I already had and continue to try to make it better, and just trying very, very hardly, if that's even a word, to, again, enjoy the atmosphere here. We're up in the Adirondacks, we're up in Saratoga. We got to go to Lake George yesterday. So really understanding, taking life for what its value is and never missing a moment. That's what it's about.
I could not agree with you more. I mean, obviously, I talk to you quite a bit, so I have some insight into where you're at and how Dave and I spoke about how I think COVID was not good, but I think you used your time wisely to become more familiar with yourself and what would make you happy and where you want to go. And I think your bowling this year is just proof positive of all that. I want to ask you, making Shannon end on the right lane. That was the trouble lane. Was that your reasoning behind it, or was there another reason?
My practice on the pair, I threw urethane all morning today, or even the second round of 6 games, I should say. So I was trying to start with that, but it wiggled. The Electrify, which has a 2-inch pin, and when you start to go inside with bigger angles, they don't tend to hit. So the game plan was, let's deduct what the balls we don't think are going to work and use the ones I progressed to as the matches went on or as the games progressed today. And it was the IQ Tour and then an Ordnance C4. So knowing I was able to blend out, the right lane seemed tighter, but then also it seemed, as the matches went on, it got more flatter towards the end. So I was able to really blend out the left lane, and I figured, let me finish on the strong lane, and that's what looked best for me. I was playing offense. It wasn't defense like she was going to finish on the bad lane. I just felt more comfortable on the left lane, and that's where I wanted to finish my 10th frame. And that 7-pin made it even more interesting.
Exactly. I thought that was a great shot off your hand.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it in the last 3 matches. That right lane, though, became the key in every match. Yep. What was your adjustment on that lane off of the flat 10?
I was probably the smartest I've ever been, except for maybe the team trials a few years ago. When the ball was kind of slowing down and losing speed in flat 10 and 7-pin, I said all my tricks were to get my hand underneath it and get around it more. So I went another 2 left. I got my hand underneath it. I threw it to the spot even harder and got my hand around it and tried to get it to get off the spot with even more angularity. And that's what happened. And that's what allowed me to throw that 4 or 5 bagger in there.
I think that's awesome. Dave, I'm going to turn it back to you, but I'm going to say one more thing. Kelly, I was crying. I'm going to continue to cry. And I'm telling you, I'm just letting you know that Carol just hit on the machines while she was watching this. So
I'm sure she hit a royal flush. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Kelly,
2 winners today.
For you. It's wonderful to see you winning again. And we knew this was coming. You were getting so darn close this year. And we're happy. I mean, obviously, knowing you for as long as I have, and it's just special for us as well. So congratulations. We hope to see you again in some capacity. I know you prefer this. I understand. We don't take it personally, but congratulations again. Thank you so much for the victory today.
Yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, very much. It's been great, honestly. Thank you.
All right, that should do it. Kelly, our champion here in upstate New York, in the winner's circle. And Aaron, Carolyn, thank you. Emil and Curtis and everybody on site. Cannot thank you all enough for doing such a wonderful job, making our job so much easier. And certainly a very, very worthy champion for this one, Carolyn. I can't even imagine the satisfaction, because I loved your point about what Kelly did during 2020. And I know this, we know this gnawed at her. There's the first thing out of her mouth was talking about getting the monkey off her back when she spoke to the audience.
Well, the other part of that too, and that's the sign of a true champion and someone who knows they need to put things in perspective and accept what comes. And the fact of, she knew it was gnawing at her a little bit, although she may not have talked about it all the time. It was something that she kept inside. So by saying that, she's acknowledging it and she's moving on. The other thing about tonight is, every time, and we mentioned this, she has been in the championship match. She has bowled Shannon O'Keefe, who's won twice against her. A phenomenal bowler. You have to assume Shannon O'Keefe is going to strike because she's that great of a bowler. She has bowled well on TV, but everyone has bowled better. They've scored higher. And tonight, everything, and I don't want to say it just came around, because again, that right lane, I think I agree with you. I say from the very beginning match, we saw everybody really have to struggle with making the adjustments on that right lane. And the little mistake you made, obviously Shannon went high and left the 310. And that's very unlike Shannon O'Keefe. She's going to hit the pocket. I mean, that's just the way she is. So it's almost like everything just came around, and again, knocking on the door, and everything went her way.
Yep, so it did. So that's going to do it for Carolyn. I'm Dave Lamont. Want to make sure we thank the United States Bowling Congress and the USBC Board, the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, and the BPAA Board, Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the PWBA, the PWBA athletes competing for putting on an amazing show. And we loved what we saw today out of our 4 competitors. The Bowl TV community, we thank you very much for your chat comments, your continued support, and hopefully you were a winner today for a bowling ball. And if not, there's always next week. So from all of us at Bowl TV, for Carolyn and for Aaron, Emil, Curtis, and everyone, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you and good night. And remember, on Bowl TV, bowling is here. Good night.